Yo, what's good everybody? It's Magnus from No Agony Collective, and today I'm going to be showing you how to mix and arrange New York style drill beats for artists to use. I'm going to be going through each sound and basically show you the effects on how to mix them properly and also show you how to arrange them. First, I'm going to show you the beat I've made so you get a feel for what we're going to be working with today. I'm going to start with the melody or the loop of this beat, which sounds like this. This is a really nice loop to use for these type of beats because it's very simple and melodic, so it works well for these types of beats. Like, you can sample stuff, just don't sample weird shit. Like, people be like, yo bro, I just made this crazy beat, listen to this is crazy, bro. Like, bro, on God, just don't sample weird shit and you should be fine. This is a really nice example. If I had these type of loops when I was maybe 20, bro, I'd be a billionaire right now. But this is a nice loop to use. And the only thing I put on this is just an EQ cut the low so it doesn't basically clash with the 808 and other low frequencies. Also, make sure if you're using like especially a vocal loop, make sure to level it properly because you don't want it to be too loud so that it's clashing with the actual voice of the artist who's hopping on it, because that's just gonna sound messy as fuck if there's like a vocal loop on top of an artist's vocals. That's gonna sound really messy. So next, onto the snare and counter snare. This is what it sounds like a low. So really simple, basically. There's no reason to overcomplicate anything here. On the actual counter snare, I have some delay and some reverb. The reverb is really nice because it makes it basically like a bit more spacious rather than just being way too alone. It just sounds like this. With some reverb, it just kind of opens it up. But don't make it too like reverb, like it sound like a fucking church. If it sounds weird, don't make it too wet. Pause, just turn it down a bit. Somewhere in here is really good. Now for the actual snare, this is just two snares mixed together that sound like this. And also have some reverb on one of these snares right here. Just again to make it like a bit more spacious. Don't make it too dry, then it's just gonna sound like too tight and shit. Just makes it flow better if there's some reverb. So together the counter snare and the snare sound like this. And without the reverb they sound like this. Sounds too choppy and dry. It just doesn't sound good. It sounds much better with a bit of reverb. Onto the 808 and the grime and the kick. I'm gonna start with the grime. I have some reverb again, and then just some flanger and chorus just for some cool effects. The grime sounds like this, and without the effects it sounds like this. It sounds again too choppy, a bit too dry. And now for the actual kick and 808. The only real thing I have that's important is just sidechaining them. Otherwise they're going to be clipping a lot. So just make sure to have a limiter. You can copy these settings if you want. This is just what I have on my 808s. And then again, just an EQ to boost some of the frequencies in the 808 that don't stand out too much that I like. And there's nothing else on the kick. They sound like this. And then to the actual arrangement of this beat, it's basically just an 8-bar intro with just a loop and the tags, and then some effects going into the actual first drop and a fill. And then I have, what is this, a 32-bar verse, I guess you can call it, with some different 808 patterns and some small switch-ups just so it doesn't get too boring over time. Just some small things that switch it up a bit throughout the beat. And then I have 16 bars of just basically a break and then building up again to the same drop, which just repeats. And then just the loop alone with the tags fading out, which is the outro of the beat. The only other thing I added to this project is basically just some risers and fills, now different effects throughout the beat to keep the vibe going so it doesn't become like the same thing repeated for like 2.5 minutes. That would be pretty boring, and I don't think anybody would want to hop on that type of beat because they would get pretty bored of it. So just add some small, like for example in the second drop here, I just have this riser just right when it drops to add some effect. Make sure to check out our main channel, which is linked in the description, where we drop new loop kits with new talented loop makers every Sunday.